I'd like to talk about a sutta titled A Brief Talk to Malukya. And it's coming from the same book I was talking about before in another talk. Basic Teachings of the Buddha by Glenn Wallace. Good book. Useful, has Buddhist suttas in it. Anyways, he talks about his subtitle for this talk for the Kala Malukya Sutta is transfixed by flamboyant speculation. So that gives you some idea what it's about. Basically, addresses our tendency to speculate. We delve off into the conceptual realm. We get all caught up in our ideas, and this actually happened to Buddhism in India, in ancient India. And that's why the Zen practice really tried to come back to what the Buddha taught and get back to the basics, back to the essence. So our ability to conceptualize our higher cerebral functions obviously help mankind in a lot of ways, but they can also get in our way. We have this tendency to start to see things through we can't help but see things through our conceptual filters, through our perspective, through what our mind tells us. But we start to mistake it for reality. We come up with all these conceptual ideas, and then we forget that they're mere constructs and that they're not reality. There's an analogy of Plato's cave, and seeing the distorted shadows, the figures on the wall, the shadows cast off by the torchlight, and mistaking those distorted figures, those phantasms, those figments, for something real. And that's what we do. It's hard for us to see things as they are, and that's a lot of what Buddhist practice is about, is seeing things as they are. So the Buddha gives this talk to Malukya, and he talks about how because of our speculative views, the training life cannot be cultivated. Speculative views such as the world is eternal, the world is not eternal, all those things like talking about a soul, all those types of things. And those hold us back from cultivating the practice, from seeing the nature of reality. And they're not beneficial. That's why the Buddha refused to speculate on things. Buddhist practice is really about everything that the Buddha taught was verified by his own experience. First, he practiced very diligently, and then he achieved awakening, and then he taught things that he had experienced. That was always coming from his personal experience, and that's what he always encouraged his disciples to do, is to verify these things for yourself. And I should actually talk about the Kalama Sutta in one of my talks, and so that's what he says in the Kalama Sutta, is verify these things for yourself. Don't even believe them because I said they're true. That's why you have to do the practice. The Tathagatas can only point the way, the awakened ones can only point the way. We have to do the practice for ourselves, and that's actually a great thing. It allows us to discover the truth, and we don't have to take anybody's word for anything. It's good to have wise teachers, but you want to verify what they say. And so that's what the Buddha is telling Malukya in this sutta, and he wanted to talk about what would be beneficial. I should also talk about the parable of the two arrows. That ties into this as well. I'll actually do my next talk on that. So Buddha wanted us to go beyond speculative opinions and find out what is true for ourselves. And these speculations are a distraction from the urgent matter at hand. So it's important that we focus on the things that are important.